drop the Kalista ban. We haven't seen it from Light all year long, and in a lot of cases where it is up and available, they seem to just dodge it. I think of very much of their JDG playoff series in particular, where they were very afraid to first pick this champion, even banning it on blue side. So I'm interested to see as we get further into this, what Waybo are going to be looking for. With Rumble already taken off the board, I think Mbessa gains so much extra value, and we still have a lot of powerful junglers here for both Monki and Tian.
All I'm gonna say is they should have made a really minute rule change to where Fearless applies on the entire day of games. So if you've played the
you
same
get to
comp,
start
you
off
can't
first,
play.
you win the game.
I mean, you're not wrong. They do get the Mbessa yet again for Breathe. We'll see if it executes a little bit better than last time around. But we'll see a lot of solo lane focus between these two teams. I think rightfully so if you're going to try to look for some advantages. That Corky top didn't work out last time for WE, so maybe something a little bit more normal this time around for Cube.
This is good. This is okay. This might look a little bit strange, but I think giving Keys to the Kingdom to two of your best players performing perfectly fine. And you think about the archetypes that Cube and Monki are going to be playing, probably going to get another Wukong, another Xin Zhao. For Cube, it's those kind of weak side tank-ish skirmishers. So this could even honestly be an angle here for WE to start thinking about their Udyr here for Cube, as Waybo continuing to index on melee champions can really start to play into that focus.
It's gonna be a very, I guess, normalized composition setup so far. I feel like we've seen a lot of Xin Zhao already on day one. It feels like the meta is leading that way for sure. Maybe looking for a little bit more wombo combo setup though with the Misfortune for Light.
I am very confused here, Lennon. I mean, we're getting Misfortune. There's not a ton of setup for her, and now we're going into the back end of draft, and all of these supports can be taken away. You can get rid of the Alistar, you can get rid of the Leona. There's no Rel either, so they're gonna have the first pick on red side here for WE. They can take away one of the supports that they don't look to ban,
and that's one of the harshest things that you can have going into a Misfortune is any kind of support that can lock you down during your bullet time. They instead go for a little bit of banning of the solo lane focuses here, as Talia is banned away by WE. We'll see what the bans are going to end up being for Waybo, but right now it is that supportal focus for them in the Braum.
Support are they looking for? With Braum taken away, my eyes, again, Leona becomes such a high value target. Maybe WE
so
to ban the Rel secondary here. My problem with this Misfortune is this could have just been a Caitlyn. Light is a Caitlyn player for sure. We've seen it time and time again. And Misfortune, so much of her power budget is placed into her ultimate. She doesn't have very much outplay potential. Instead, Waybo, or WE, focusing in on mid matchups that are not going to be fun for the Aurora, taking away a lot of good champions from Xiaohu.
Taking away that side lane menace of the Rise. The Alistar is the final ban away by Waybo. We'll see which support WE want to go with here, or maybe just go with the jungle setup to wait for that supportal counter, which, zooming out and out of context, you know, Vampire getting support counter for WE is actually hilarious to me, but we'll see if they actually go for it too.
Okay. Is this going to be another Wukong game for Monki? I don't want to make the joke.
He does like it. He likes the champion a lot. It just has to happen. It's just
okay. So strong team fighting here for Team WE. They're going to have to be able to keep their opponents at distance. Wukong and Aatrox are going to have such an important job here in this game, whereas Waybo, big wombo, dive in on an enemy backline, so much crowd control between Breathe, Tian, and Hung out on this Leona that you need to have Xiaohu and a really high DPS mid. Honestly, now that I say that, and I look at this composition, I could take a Galio here. I could take a Galio here from Xiaohu.
Okay. Hey, he saw Knight do it. He wants a little bit of a turret of his own here, at least in this one. In this kind of composition as well, I think it works very well. You have a lot of options to go in on with the heroic entrance. We'll see if he can have that level of execution that we saw from last time around. Poppy is the final locket here for Vampire as support.
Huge value coming in from this Poppy, but when and where he's able to get his steadfast presence is going to be important, because I think in the most ideal world for Team WE, every single dash is stopped by Poppy. That is never very low likely odds that that is ever going to happen. You're probably going to be stopping 1, 2, maybe 3 different dashes. And here for Team WE, I think they're remarkably squishy here. So Waybo can play with these really strong lanes, continue to move out, and how we see these mid-jungles interact is going to be so key.
Yeah, the setup in mid-jungle was always the big focus, especially in this one. Looking at Monki on one of his favorite champions, trying to find a way to make this work. The last game did not look that great from him. I want to see a little bit more consistency, a little bit more clarity in what he wants to accomplish on the map, because if you let him, Tian will absolutely run you into the ground at the jungle matchup. And with this setup, with a lot of the skirmishing and the in-between focus of these solo lanes around the Tian, that setup is going to be even more important for Waybo. So Waybo looking to right the wrongs, looking to try to keep up with BLG in a lot of ways. WE just looking for something here in Group A. We're getting into our 5th game of the day. Only one more after this on the first day of LPL split number 2. We got a lot more games ahead of us, so make sure to hang on. This is game number 5, WE versus Waybo. And we'll see what these mid-jungles have to offer.
All about not only the mid jungles, but I mean, we're looking at these two teams on 2 different trajectories. Waybo, again, a top 2 organization here in this group, and Team WE, pretty long fall from grace when you think about years past and what this organization used to represent for the LPL and the larger League of Legends esports community. So tough matchup.
What is happening? I heard one chant and then there was like some mumbling afterwards. Yeah, we gotta get the chants right, peoples.
I think a lot of the LPL fans saw what happened at first stand and they're like, we're gonna stay quiet for a little bit.
Don't
Casey
say that, AlkBattery. Come on. Don't say that. Don't say that. They're still there. They're still passionate.
We lost to CFO and Doggo, man.
There was distractions somewhere. Something was happening
in
the arena. And now I'm distracted to look at the game. As now we have a little bit of the opposite side start from both junglers and trying to figure out exactly where they want to get these paths going early. And Tian is one that loves to take some unique paths occasionally.
He is also very big, at least so far in this split. He wants to make sure that he is contesting enemy camps on every cycle here. So any bit of information that Waybo can get as to where Monki is starting is going to be really appreciated here. Now, with him starting on the bottom side of the map and him taking his red buff, he does get the option of, normally just going to be looking for a full clear, but if the bot lane get into a bit of a tricky situation, especially trading a lot of HP, he can actually look to try to flip the game around this bottom lane.
I actually wouldn't mind that as well. And they were showing the picture-in-picture there. They just wanted to show that they did see Monki starting on the top side. It is just going to be the full side clears, although Tian will be spotted out by a cheeky little ward that Karis has put down here.
And with this wave now in mid, Karis should be able to push this out. They can even move in with Monki to try to get some early vision fade into the river. I'm looking towards our 2 top laners here in this matchup, especially now with Tian walking up and with where the wave is. Breathe is taking a lot of HP, and most of this is just to make sure that Cube keeps this wave underneath the turret and forces him into really uncomfortable spots.
Really, actually want to see a little bit more movement and execution out of Breathe as well in the Mbessa. I think last game definitely left a lot of want there. And against the Aatrox especially, I want to see him have more impact in the team fights. Because I think it's pretty easy for Cube to kind of just stick his face in there and be impactful. We are going to see those culminations of the clears towards these opposite sides for both junglers. So ships in the night as of now in the early games.
And it's going to be Tian with him finishing his side of the camps first. He does have this ward that Cube does have that is going to be able to spot him here. Breathe can push this wave. And half HP between these two. I still really like Breathe in this matchup. I mean, it's Mbessa has the level advantage as well. So much mobility on this champion. You can just trade. Has the grass procs as well.
Oh, you're just cast cursing. Keep going. Keep going. That's what Cube wants. Says keep talking, AlkBattery. They just have a lot of healing right back to him. Cube realizes he's under duress here. Tian coming around for the dive. This is important for Waybo to execute on. And it's a culmination of the path. They're going to get Cube under turret.
Gets it.
Tian takes the turret. The Cube gets the 1-for-1.
10, he's got 8 seconds. He's going to be able to teleport as well. He'll probably miss out on this entire top wave, but a good trade coming in from the top laner of Team WE, making sure that they're able to go even in that. And Tian, they completely fumbled that early game dive. It was a great flash from Cube, which completely opens it up. And now they're in a position where Monkey's going to continue to farm. We even saw that Xiaohu use a little bit of his timer to just move into the topside jungle, get some vision down, but that is a huge blunder, I think, from Waybo.
That's I mean, a huge gamble, honestly, to just go for a 2v1 dive this early on. Typically, you'd see confidence in a 3v1 dive, but they just wanted to, get the heart's pumping, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to wake up the crowd a little bit.
You got a lot
there.
of damage. Like, to be fair, they're like 200, 300 HP Aatrox with fully stacked Q on Sinzao and this Mbessa. I think it's relatively safe to go for that dive. It's just the flash, and we're probably going to get a replay. We'll be able to see it in time. So we've got Dragon here available. Now, Monki is on this side of the map, but his bottom lane is just constantly having to deal with waves pushed under his turret. I think with the recall of Misfortune, maybe there's a small timer here. Now with the Scryer's Bloom as well, Tian is revealed to be on this side of the map. Cube has to be so careful. He's just going to say, look, I'll give up this wave. I'm going to look to TP, or I'm going to look to walk on over. But that does mean he's going to be missing at least some experience. It's already a level 6 here, and now grubs are spawning. I think it's a little bit risky.
We're moving bodies over here for WE, and I actually think it's a massive call for them as they're bringing Taeyoon up towards mid lane with the grub spawning right this second. All WE are going to be positioned on this top side of the map.
I'm looking at experience tolls right now. I just don't think you're allowed to fight on top side, right? Like, Breathe has almost full HP, has the ultimate as well. Cube is nowhere near to being as powerful as this Mbessa, so why risk it? Put our options towards the bottom side of the map, and they're not even starting up the Dragon. I think the fact that they're kind of taking a little bit on this might end up backfiring on them. Tian is taking a bit to kind of finish up on the grubs. I thought maybe there was an actionable timer for Waybo to potentially look. They're not even going to get the objective.
They don't even get the Dragon.
Huh?
Okay, and then we just take the fight. I mean, this really good map play from Waybo. I'll say it's WE's slip up. Absolutely. Their macro decision making there was so lagging behind, but Waybo's response to pressure them in that situation was huge.
But why are we sitting in mid lane like that? Why, as Vampire, are we flashing? There's no level 6 here for Light. We're under 0 threat of them killing us. I have Aftershock, and I have Steadfast Presence still available, and the passive resistance is there. I think it's a huge mistake here for WE.
The control word. You can't get it. I'm going to go insane, Alk. Maybe it's all a bait. Maybe it's all, I don't know, man. That control word is the most important thing in the world right now to Vampire, and he'll get his gold.
Respect.
Let's go.
Oh man, this is tough to watch, Lennon. I don't know what to do here. Now they're gonna try and make this play again on mid. We already saw what happened last game, trying to make these plays against the Galio. It might work in the meantime, but over time, I don't think it's gonna be able to pay the same dividends here. As now, Waybo are just gonna use their advantage in bottom lane. Xiaohu just got pushed in mid so they can go into bottom side river. They can feign access onto this Dragon. And look where Monkey's going. He's going to his top side camp. So, I mean, Waybo could do whatever they want in this moment, as Team WE seem like they don't know if they really want to go for an objective or start a fight.
Just a very clear difference in terms of strategic know-how and how they want to move around the map right now, at least for the moment. And giving WE the benefit of the doubt when their team comes together. Maybe it makes a difference. There's a Dragon on the table. Not going to be really the focus at all right now because Grub's in about 2 minutes. And it's kind of funny to see still how Grubs is so impactful to these early games for the LPL in general. I mean, League of Legends in general. But when you can find those big advantages early, it makes it that much easier to snowball forward. And that's what Waybo are trying to do.
And you think about the historical trends of the LPL, being willing to fight, really trying to push the limits mechanically of what you're allowed to do, especially out on the map. So makes sense that we're kind of seeing a little bit of that, but Weibo are a team that are always going to be willing to scale. They are always going to be willing to say, let's push the game to 25, 30 minutes. Let's try to play on 1 and 2, 3 item power spikes and see what happens, right? Like, do you really want to play the have you ever game versus Xiaohu and Light? I don't think very many teams, especially not a team of Team WE's caliber, I don't think they really want to play that game.
You definitely know things are going bad when you look at the gold lead there on that left side graphic, and it's all blue at the top. Waybo, speaking of all blue at the top, going to be looking for a play towards top side. Have multiple members up here. Karis able to... Oh, I was going to say able to dodge away there, but gets immediately public execution, and Hug misses the Zenith blade. Everybody's missing skill shots here, and Hug getting very low. They might still be able to get him, though, because now Karis has no abilities left. Vampire on the wayside, just going to watch his mid laner fall, and he tries to get the flash play, gets the wall bang. Tian tanking the turret here. Vampire just made a redemption play.
Can Cube get anything? Do we? We're not using the ultimate. Gallo's going to get all these bottom lane waves. It might open a play here for Team WE. They can start up these grubs when they go to spawn, but you're looking at the reset timers here. Tian can make his way afterwards. I think that's not all that bad, right? Like, that was almost a solo kill onto Karis. They weren't able to find it. They had to invest multiple members, and look at what they're losing. Xiaohu on this bottom lane wave. There was no mid push coming in from Team WE, so really all they did was trade some summoner spells, trade a couple of ultimates, and now Team WE are actually going to be weaker for the upcoming fights, whether it be the dragon or the grubs.
I mean, hey, W are still willing to put up a fight up here. They start it preemptively, but immediately get flushed out by Waybo. They moved in to try to select and claim Grubageddon.
Here we go.
There's TP coming in for both sides. See if the fight actually ticks off here. Xiaohu pretty massive now on the Galio. Light looking for the bullet time on the Karis. It's about half his health. That's a massive ultimate down, but it did give them pressure from mid. And that'll be Grubageddon secured by Waybo.
I just think that this TP is incredibly fake, man. Like, why are we TPing as Karis, right? We don't have ultimate, so we're already kind of low value. We don't have a completed item, so it's not even like we're playing on a massive power spike for any one of our champions on our side. So Team WA, I think, jumping the gun and continuing to put themselves in a bit of a hole here as Breathe.
Oh, Cube got baited. He gets flashed out, though. Zenith play connect. Breathe didn't have confidence that Hug would hit that one. Backed away there, and Cube makes it out alive.
Okay, Cube is playing these situations very, very well. For someone who's getting a lot of attention, he's at least able to go even or just stay alive, and he's wasting a lot of time for Waybo. The unfortunate matter of the fact is, the rest of his team is not getting much done. Monki is only just now starting on this dragon, so there will be at least some cross-map trade. Vampire is going to be able to help him, at least keep him from being dove under his turret, but think about all the other dives. This is the kind of the one time where I think W are finally punishing Weibo for over-indexing.
It's nice to see a little bit of a wake-up in that regard, at least from WE. It doesn't mean at all that things are going well. Yeah, they're doing something. And honestly, sometimes that's all you can ask. But we'll see if it remains the case here, because we look at the compositional strengths and kind of check in on those win conditions we were talking about through the draft, and Weibo are set up for success. They feel very powerful fighting around objectives and with that priority in decision making.
Weibo are going to be a great team, a great spot here.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That was a good flash. Doesn't matter though. The true shot barrage from Taeyoon, and he's on the board now.
This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see how Team WE were going to unlock and really emphasize some of the carries. These two Korean players, Karis and Taeyoon, coming over from Breon and KDF. How were they going to look on this team? I think there were a lot of questions. Team WE has not been a roster that's really been able to commit all that much to the LPL in terms of their results. And they were hoping with these two Korean players that maybe there is an angle here, and there's been glimpses of greatness, but Team WE as a whole have not really been able to kind of get it together. Hopefully they're able to do it in this game, but now they're going to be down 3,000 gold. Their fights haven't been looking as clean. I think they still have a really big uphill battle for them. I mean, 2-item spike coming in soon for Taeyoon. Maybe that's the way. Maybe that's the big power spike. You even have Monki, who instead of going for what is, you know, the kind of stock standard Sundered Sky, he's got Trinity Force on the
I know. Hey, we got Taeyoon with the Trinity Force too on the Ezreal. Obviously, a little bit more usual.
That one I'm okay with.
But
that
not
one I'm
recently.
like, okay, yes, we know.
Now, bot lane, we still get the combo going off, but unfortunately, things do not hit for Waybo. They still do end up taking first turret, and that is massive damage done and a big gold lead now for WBG.
Oh, can Waybo, what else can this team do? Because now you're going to be able to recall, you look towards top side, you have not only the Otacon spawning, but Herald spawning in a minute's time. Big thing for me is no flash on light. If there was an angle for Team WE to be able to find that, it is going to be onto this AD carry. With a Bloodthirster, it does get a little bit more difficult, but no summoner spell versus your team should be kind of the way. We haven't seen a big team fight for them. This is, I think, one of the big claims to fame for their draft was that we have Wukong, Aatrox, and this Aurora. These three as a package should be able to dominate small spaces, especially around objectives.
Maybe they can find a way to unlock themselves there, because as I was saying, like the compositional strength for both teams is very team reliant in terms of their team fighting potential, and just got to see things layered up on each other. And it's been a little bit of tough hanging there for WA. I guess that goes back to kind of the setup focus for these two teams is Waybo, yes, it's pride. They want to go 2 wins before the end of this first day. You only get to play 2 days in this format, at least in your group. But imagine going 0-3 for WE. I know you talked about it earlier, but it just feels
that's a reality.
So bad.
Low-key, that's a reality. I'm so sorry to everybody who's a WE fan. I'm subscribed to that reality. Look, there's a reason why so many of us, unless your name is Rude Dude for some reason, who wanted to be contrarian, have Team WE as 4th in this group, predictions-wise. It's just a matter of the fact their split one didn't look good, and now they're even kind of replacing their jungle situation. So we're seeing it here in this game. It's a bunch of best of ones you have to play. Maybe on day 4, day 5, they got their act together and able to pull it, but I think that's asking for a lot. We're seeing Waybo.
Tian has just decided he wants to fight as True Shot Barrage going to ring out, hits a couple. Cube T-Piece gets immediately engaged on. Meanwhile, Breathe is in a 1v4 now, joined by Xiaohu, who gets immediately knocked away, and Tian getting low. Tian getting a kill, and Sundered Sky is a hell of a drug, and he is hopped up on it all day. That's a huge clean sweep from Waybo, and Karis trying to limp away.
They didn't even use the Aurora ultimate. What was going on? We definitely need to get a replay of that fight, because remember, this all started with Hung missing his ultimate. This would have been a huge fight for Team WE to win, but it turns into a massive victory here for Waybo. They grab themselves a bunch of kills. They'll be able to get the top tier one as well as this Herald. Light is just saying, look, I got 2 guns. Both of you can hold bullets for me.
He's about to hold some bullets from Taeyoon. He pops the barrier. A little worried there, but things are calming down a little bit. I'm sure we'll take a look back at that other fight. It was very tense, but honestly, Tian is a demon this game. This man is just running at people.
That is the kind of scary tankiness of this Xin Zhao. As we get into this replay here, this is the part where I was like, okay, look, there is no Leona engage. So Misfortune's going to be in a tough spot, and I think, again, Cube, someone who does go underutilized in a lot of fights, stays alive for such a long time, but it's not enough, as even in the picture-in-picture, we're getting some fights over here. I don't care about this Misfortune ultimate. Tian, great job. You got a schedule for drug in Sundered Sky. 3,100 gold is enough to get you away. It's fine. I'm just looking at Vampire die in the picture-in-picture. It's another free dragon here for Waybo.
I love it because the observer said it's not important enough to switch away from the replay to watch Vampire die, as he is down and out. It is full bot side control from Waybo, and another dragon at least taken down, this time by Waybo. They're first in that stacking, and they're actually collapsing over mid lane right now. Cube and Taeyoon in some trouble. Oh, God, that dude, dodge simulator here by Taeyoon. He does pass the checks. And now there's more trouble coming his way. True Shot Barrage on Tian does a decent chunk, but he'll just heal up himself.
Taeyoon's like, well, I played against Pays in LCK Challengers, but Think about that, would you? Okay, we both good at Ezreal. Who knew? Oh, but Light's able to kind of step up and deal a little bit of damage. But think about what they got done during all of that. They kind of postured in mid. They were able to kind of fish out a few abilities from Waybo. But aside from that, the map is still good. You've now drawn, as Waybo, multiple members of Team W to the mid lane. Now you're going to be able to go out into side lanes, have really strong power spikes. I mean, Breathe is level 13. He doesn't have the ultimate. Am I about to see Breathe get 1v3'd and we're going to a replay?
No,
Whatever.
no.
So this is how Vampire dies. Cool, you just walked into a teleport on Galio and Breathe kills you. Great. Let's get out of this. What happened? Breathe walked away. Nothing happened. Thank you.
Away.
All right. Cool, man.
Nothing happened. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Unfortunately for WE, things are looking worse and worse as time goes on, though. As about 4.5k deficit, that 0-3 looming heavy on the horizon. There is an Atacon spawned on the top side of the map. We've seen the wariness of the LPL teams to start up that objective unless it's a surefire thing. We'll be getting close to second items for Waybo, so maybe that opens the possibilities.
It's not just our LPL teams. I think teams across the world have just recognized, like, okay, we don't actually have to throw the game around this objective. We don't really want to play. Everybody, they didn't even have to read the actual Otacon. They actually just figured out after everybody kept bringing it up that Otacon shreds your resistances. They're like, okay, now we don't actually have to fight for this. Waybo, 6 Grubs and the Herald. Any turret they want is theirs, and it looks like they are posturing around mid. If without the Otacon, I don't think it really matters. I think for Waybo, you might just be looking at this dragon spawning in 2.5 minutes.
I mean, there's no way you get out of this one. He's going to be chased down. He gets so much damage. He's not tanky at all. He's going to get everything popped on him. Maybe gets the flash out. There's the Sterix gauge. And he finally does with a nice little move. Breathe, unfortunately, unable to land all of the damage. And now, yeah, the Rift Herald play by Waybo towards mid lane. I don't know if they're going to be able to get too much from it, but they're looking for the collapse.
6 Grubs. I don't care. Say goodbye, Taeyoon. Yep, everybody walk away. I don't care. We're hitting this turret. Thank you. Karis, we needed to be hitting this turret 15 seconds ago. When both Xiaohu and Breeze showed on bottom lane, he needed to hit the top lane turret. He was feigning into river, didn't get all that much, and now Waybo are going to be able to grab 2 turrets from themselves. Tian just sends himself in.
He's been doing it all game, man. Turret got taken finally on the bot side as well, so that tier 2 is down. Breathe more than happy to now join the fight. Taeyoon able to poke down some decent damage, but Monki is just starting up the Atacon now. Okay, I like it.
Lennon, I'm going to lose my damn mind, bro. Karis didn't even push the full wave in top lane. No! Traitor minions. It's okay. No one from Waybo is here yet. There's Hex Tech portals coming in. It's Hung and Xiaohu, but look at who else is out on the map. It's already dead. Team WE are going to be able to grab the Otacon here.
Are they? But they need to get the flowers. All right, the Keep It Verdict has been utilized. Everybody's getting up here. The flowers starting to spawn. TP coming in. Xiaohu coming in with a rogue entrance. They don't get the flowers. They're trying to get out, but TP, I mean, that's going to put Cube in a terrible place. Cube's TP might have just turned it around, and WE are being dashed to the wall here by Waybo. Public execution, and we'll stick to the namesake for that one. Vampire no longer exists. A 3-man taunt from Xiaohu, and it's a double kill coming through from Light. Waybo can do no wrong, as you said, with a clean ace.
Just put the 3 in the loss column, WE. It's over, guys. Like, we're not doing this game no more. We didn't even push on top wave. We lose a big team fight. Like, it's 11-3, almost 8,000 gold. And that's not even to mention the experience differentials are going to be coming through. Waybo had been able to play this game with so much poise. After the last game, maybe Xiaohu said, look, they picked Aurora. I just lost the Aurora Galio. Why don't I just pick it? Why don't I just do this? You know, maybe this matchup is really OP.
Xiaohu's looking like a little kid there in his player cam. He's just smiling from ear to ear.
But it's like the most unfortunate Poppy ultimate because it's literally the one champion who can get him back into this. And it is a fair amount of these roses going over to Waybo. But just like, like you were saying in the call, we just left Cube out to dry here. And then this ultimate lands, and they're able to chase them out. Xiaohu
to be fair, it was a late as hell TP.
Exactly, yep. So many things going wrong for Team WE, so many things going right for Waybo, and I feel like that is just kind of name of the game and kind of a similar story we're going to continue to tell about Team WE of the almost and the could have haves, but not quite getting it done.
The Ambessa is working this time for Breathe, which is a happy statement to say because it didn't work out against BLG. You see that damage done, and Breathe is doing some work right now. I also love it because we got 4 plated steel caps there for Waybo, and maybe that's doing even more work for them as they realize there's a lot of auto attack damage coming through from WE, but they have a massive deficit to claw themselves back from for WE, and it's some of the struggles that we actually saw throughout the last couple games as well, is just the lack of cohesion on what they want to accomplish.
I mean, right now for WE, I think Karis is really afraid of showing up on side lane. We've seen it time and time again. I've been talking about it basically for the last 8 minutes. And here on top side, they put him near mid, they lose a top tier 1. He shuffles over to top to catch the wave, and while he's spending all this time, they lose to mid tier 2.
Oh, that's a lot of ultimates just to get Vampire. He must have done something wrong, and it might have just been existing on Summoner's Rift for this game, as now they are into the inhib turret in mid, maybe even looking for the inhib itself. Don't know if they can get much more of that. Xiaohu is going to style out of a little bit, go towards that top side, but they will back away from here, even though backs will be stopped a bit there. They have a lot of gold to spend, at almost 10,000 gold lead over WE.
Yeah, WE's not going to even have enough time, really, to get much done on the map. They'll be able to catch these waves that are coming in for the time being, but it's a Hextech Soul, man. Like, you're able to teleport back onto the map so fast. You can get around to places incredibly quickly. It shaves off a little bit of time, and so look at where WE is now. Most of their members, they picked up their waves, then recalled. Where is Monki and Vampire? They're only just now getting out on the map. Monkey's actually recalling. Vampire's trying to get vision on the top side of the map, but all of this is going to be cleared. No one from WE is going to be there to protect the vision line. And at any moment now, Waybo can very easily just pull the trigger on starting up this Baron and force WE into a situation where damned if you do, damned if you don't. You stop us on Baron, cool, we're going to win probably a big team fight and end the game. Oh, we're going to get Baron, but we have 6 grubs and we still beat you in team fights, so we're going to win the game anyway.
And it's definitely in a sad state for WE. And I kind of want to zoom out that this game is pretty cooked. But
oh yeah,
the question I have, is this a symptom of the structure of the splits? Because like we said, WE literally only played 3 best of 5s in their entire split of split 1. That's not a lot of time to kind of figure out exactly how your team works, and obviously now the changes coming into another split. Like, is this a culmination of these kind of structural things with the format?
Counterpoint, Monkey's alive. Counterpoint, you played 3 best of 5s, and now you're losing in best of 1s. I think we need to bring back some best of 3s to the LPL. That's the format change.
Okay. Oh,
breathe!
Fusion. Not gonna hit there. Still able to chunk Cube half health. He didn't even use the ultimate on him. He's already dying. They pulled off the Baron, though, so saving grace for WEs. They won't have to contest with that one for now. That was almost 2,500 damage in that little combo from Breathe, and they're going to turn right back onto the Baron.
Imagine if he had landed the ultimate. I mean, Cube can just teleport back here if he really wants to be able to catch this bottom lane wave. That was a really good find from WE's top laner.
God. Vampire almost just died. Like, he's just buffing the numbers from Breathe right now. Breathe finally gets hit away. We'll be told to calm down, but the Baron getting low. Monki going for a combo here, potentially for a steal. Tian is in the pit. Are they going to flip it? No. Hug goes for the engage. Cyclone used. Karis, he takes down Light. That's a major member of Waybo. Karis has a massive flank angle, but the flashes are coming forward, and Waybo are just taking them down a peg one by one. There's the big solar flare in, and the re-engage by the rest of Waybo. Breathe getting low. Is it going to matter? Nice little win becomes Lightning and Vampire. The only saving one here is dead. The only person left now is Monki, and he might get caught backing. Ooh, barely gets away. But there's a TP from Waybo into the mid lane, into the Nexus turret, and the Waybo finishing touches are coming, and a 2-1 finishing to their day one of Group A is on the horizon, and they will look to secure it.
The mid jungle here for Waybo, all smiles coming in as the boys in white and black are going to be able to finish up, like you were saying, 2-1, so winning record going into the second day of the group stage, and very important for them. Again, magic number is 3 in either of the columns. You get 3 wins, you're most likely locked to make top 2 and get out of the group. You may get 3 losses, and you're finishing on the bottom half. The best hope here now for Team WE is they're able to scrape by in the back end of the group stage and try to make it into that 3rd seed and pretend to contest for a slot into Group Ascend.
Man, Waybo bounced back. That feels really good, but we got to look to the elephant in the room, and it's that WE are now 0-3, and comparatively to the start of Split 1, it's not looking much better. There's still some of the question marks in what they're trying to accomplish in mid-game and how they're trying to push their strategies forward, but it has been really unfortunate that we don't get a better shot at seeing some of these players develop a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they were able to play like 1 million more best of 3s like we used to have in LPL, then sure. But even in that system, I don't think we got to see that much development of rookies, right? When you think of like all of the newer talent that would come out, even in other formats, not just the LPL, I think that structure, yes, does harm some of these newer players and trying to make sure that they can get more games together, but I think a lot of it just comes down to how are they playing around the map, who is leading them in the game, the structure internally when it comes to how are they actually able to kind of, what is the winning recipe for this team? And you even think about the win versus AL, that felt more like we are like, oh, look, like AL gave a freebie over to this team, right? That's kind of what happened, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I think so. But in that kind of case, it's like you want to see good things from these players, and luckily in the second split, we do have a lot more games for them to play. It's not just done after group stage this time around. It's not as quick over, and that is something to kind of keep an eye out. But things are not looking put together, at least in their first 3 best of ones, and I think you can look towards Monki to try to find some more consistency there. But hey, Waybo, they lost to BLG. Everything else they handled. How are we feeling about them? How are we feeling about that kind of 1-2 in Group A so far?
I don't know. Like, it feels weird because Billy, their games look the same, I think, on average from what we got in Split 1. Waybo, I think we're still seeing more of the same for these teams. For Waybo, I think they're having different problems. This game, when Breathe was on, his Mbessa, even in the first game, right, when he played Mbessa, he was a monster in that game, and he ended up getting it.
All 3
he almost
games
got MVP for that game. Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure. He did.
But like, one of the issues is that we haven't seen Breathe be able to connect with the team. He has always been on a side lane. He's like, guys, I'm pushing in this wave. Oh, I'm going to teleport now. I'm late. Never mind. I'm going to continue pushing this wave. So he ends up never joining the team. And for BLG, it is kind of their jungle support. Like, sometimes we get to see that happen. I don't know. To answer your question, I think we're getting more of Split 1 versions of these teams than we are getting newer iterations. And I think that's okay. You're playing 6 best of 1s. To these teams, these don't matter in the grand scheme of things, especially when we're looking at a team like BLG and Waybo.
God, that damage, man. Holy hell. Mbessa go Burr. Dude, and there's a number on there that's really low for any champion in the game to be a part of, and unfortunately it was Monki with the Monki, only doing 3,000 damage. Tian, like I said, was a literal demon in this game. I think a lot of the praise will go to Breathe and how he kept space and things like that, but I think the combination that we really wanted to see work out was Tian and Xiaohu, and it works beautifully.
Not only do we have to start thinking about Pog, but low-key, if I could, I want to give Cube some time here, man. Just, he played this game really well with the circumstances that were kind of given to him, outplayed a lot of dives, and that is kind of the archetype that we've come to know this player for his years now in the LPL, but I think it is so impressive to, time and time again, kind of prove that right, especially on a team that is currently at the moment suffering.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there can be some bright spots for sure.
This is not his fault. This is not his fault. His team put him here.
This was not his. Maybe it was his fault. Maybe he TP'd a little. I don't know. Hey, I'm not gonna point fingers, but I will point at Breathe, who is finally getting a really good situation going for him on the M-Pesa. And does this mean that like this kind of Xin Zhao and Bessa Galio combo is just the bread and butter of Group A at this point? Because we've seen a lot of wins for combinations like this.
Yes. Maybe. I think it's really early. Data, we don't have a lot of data here. I think we're also new to the patch, right? We're on 25.06, so not a ton of teams have been able to play this. We haven't had, I think, any stage games. I think the only ones are maybe EMEA Masters, but I don't think they're playing on that advanced of a live patch. So either way, I think that with best of ones, you invite a completely different strategy, especially around pick ban. It makes blue side really powerful, but it also means that more of the same from Fearless Draft, which is really strong blind solo lanes, making sure that you have strong skirmishing coming in from your jungle, and then, you don't have any limit in champion pool because you're only playing one game.
Yeah, exactly. Can't play that champ next game. Doesn't matter. We're not playing another game.
Omega Fearless.
Omega Fearless. It's the full Fearless experience that we've wanted all along. Our producer Kai was saying that fan vote is 100% Breathe. I think Breathe is probably going to win it, but we had On win last MVP when we didn't expect it. So maybe who else you got? Who would be a close second or maybe trumping Breathe? Nobody?
Most likely is probably Tian.
Okay.
That's as far as I'm going to go, but yeah, I think 40% damage share on M-Pesa is already pretty disgusting, and he actually proved it this game that he's actually able to have a big impact.
I would agree. Breathe does get MVP, 88% KP, 8-0-7 on the M-Pesa. It's a really good game to finish off day one for him and for Waybo at that 2-1 scoreline. You love to see it.
Yep, and good, especially now it's his first MVP, so congratulations to him, at least this year, so we can kind of give him some praise. Has had a bit of a rough start, especially with how early Waybo left out in playoffs in this last split, so expecting exciting stuff, especially as we get further into groups here in Split 2 placement.
Well, we are going to have some fun with this last one because we have one more